All right, before I move on into the last segment of this broadcast, which I'm going to be posting here on this channel, this will be the only thing that you see on this channel here in just a little bit. I want to make sure that I also talk a little bit more about the website Blazing Press and where you can find those batteries. Okay, so this is the batteries that I'm talking about, the SOK Life PO4s, the 12 volts. And they've got the 100 amp. They're all out, so you won't be able to find them here. And they've got the 206 amps. They're all out as well. These are direct links to the SOK website. All gone. Took a week and they were sold out. Okay, they had containers full. They're all gone. Not sure when they're going to get any more in, but the secondary supplier is right here. Okay, you see that secondary supplier? This is the only company in the United States that warranties these batteries. And I'm going to be working with them to put together some videos on the how-tos of a basic battery bank, inverter, charger, and monitor so that you can do it the correct way and have enough power for a full day after you charge them if you have enough batteries, because you can have one or two or three or four. And the more you put together, the more power you got. There's ways to calculate your amp hours and everything so you know how this works. But I'm going to give you all the basics. We're going to take you through the basics so that you understand how it works and that you can have your own system up and running in no time in case everything does happen to go down, which I think it's not an in case. It's just a case of when. Okay, so this is where you can get them. I click right here. Click here to purchase. Okay, look, I want to show you how many they got left. They've got only 134 left in stock, okay? 134. Last time I was here, they had 250. So if you want these, you better move quick. All I'm saying is it's kind of like all the other things in life now that you can't get. You try to get a refrigerator, go to Home Depot. They haven't had one in there. They haven't had freezers in there for a month. I tried to get a trailer one day a few months ago, or it's been about a month. And they haven't had trailers in there for over a month and a half, and they're not getting any more in, by the way, until the end. This is it. There's no more coming. They usually get them in the spring, but used to have them every week. There was always trailers out there. Like I said, there's so many things that you can't get right now. Appliances, furniture, you can't get it. It'll take 5 or 6 months to get to you, if it even comes in at all. Anything that has computer chips, you ain't going to get it. And by the way, these are smart batteries, by the way. They are smart batteries that actually tell you how much you should charge them, and they shut off at a certain point where you can't charge them anymore. And they will last more than 10 years. I would guess these things could last you 20 years, literally 20 years. They have 8,000 cycles, so you can charge them and discharge them 8,000 times if you do it, and you don't, screw it up, mess the battery up by doing something stupid. But it's pretty easy. It's not, I think they're idiot proof, if you ask me, these batteries. But it's an investment, and you have to think about it. Is it an investment that you want to make? All right, I'm going to move on. God bless you guys. I'm going to play one thing for you right now, and this has to do with our sat phone company that is a part of our broadcast, that is supporting what we're doing here in our outreach, okay? Our outreach is great. A lot of you guys are believers, and you guys are supporting our spiritual endeavors here on YouTube or wherever we are. Whenever we post, we always are trying to point people in the right direction, making sure that they have peace in their heart, making sure that they're prepared for the things that are to come. And you guys are the backbone of our channel. For you who donate to us and send in tithes, if you want to do that, look at this as a fellowship, as a church. We do actually have that on our app. If you guys are a part of that, many people are. There's about 5,000 or 6,000 people over there at our app. If you want to get connected, we have small groups, we have outreaches, we have prayer groups, we have Bible studies. Get connected. Message Beloved One on our app if you want to get connected and support what we're doing. We're putting out a lot of money to do a lot of these things that we're doing, but we also have expenses. So thank you guys for supporting what we do. We appreciate it. We also will be giving shouts out to a lot of you guys that do support our channel, but you can also support our channel by getting some of these items that I think are necessary and completely a part of your toolbox for survival. Okay? So the Lord bless you, the Lord keep you, the Lord make his face shine upon you, the Lord be gracious to you and give you peace. And here's my interview that I did with the vice president of sat123.com. His name is Eric, and he's an awesome guy. And I love that. I love this company. They're all Christians that run it. They're a great company. Please support them as well. All right, guys, we're at Blazing Press once again with another update on the technologies that are definitely behind our security and our prepping. We're really wanting to get real focused on our ability to stay connected and really to stay connected to the power grid, to each other, and really to civilization is really what we want to stay connected to. So we're going to be talking about satellite phones again today. And I have Eric Talman. He's the vice president of Satellite Phone Store at sat123.com, and he's with us again today. And we're going to be talking about a little bit of what has happened recently over there in New Orleans, and also some of the things that you might not know about satellite phones and why you might need to be thinking about possibly getting one. And it's really a great deal. I personally have one and have been playing around with it and really using it to see how it would work in a situation where there's no signal. And I live in North Idaho, and there's a lot of places out here that you can go, whether it's hunting or fishing or wherever. You get out off the grid and you don't have a satellite or you don't have a cell phone tower. And it's great to have because you can just connect right to it. Just sounds just like a cell phone. And it's really, really kind of nice. And we're going to talk a little bit about that technology today. And I just wanted to introduce you once again. I've had Eric. Eric, you've been on the program before, and I just welcome you back once again here at Blazing Press. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome, man. I'm here in sunny Florida, and we've been working hard, really hard the past 10 days, especially with the hurricane. So I'm happy to be on here and hopefully share some of our experiences that we've seen that customers have been through to help those who haven't gone through those so they can be more prepared.
Awesome. Well, recently, I guess you've been through this hurricane there at New Orleans. Well, what was kind of going on there with the, when you were on the ground? You were actually on the ground dealing with people that were out of power, out of communications, and so what brought you back over there? Was it companies that were looking for help, or what was happening there?
I think it was Tina and I were in the office on Sunday. And we knew the hurricane was hitting in the morning and was going to probably hit twice. So we were just working away at the office, and we started getting calls, and we realized, oh, wow, this thing really hit really bad. And we need to send people in. So we immediately packed up one of our satellite trucks. We have satellite trucks and satellite vans that we take to special events just like this, and send a couple guys in. They go in there, and man, what they found was really, really tough conditions. It's amazing how fragile our world could change so fast. How fragile our world is, and how fast it can actually change. These guys were leaving Mobile, Alabama, and that was about the last time they could really get a good fill up or even get a hotel. Once they got into Louisiana, almost all the gas stations are out of gas. Power lines are down everywhere. Restaurants aren't open, so they have to kind of scrounge for food. It was really tough situation.
And they say that it was potentially going to be out for more than a month. And I know even now, here we are on the 8th of September, they're still out of power, right?
Yeah, you can read the news, what news there is out there. And basically, yeah, they're going on 10 days in a lot of places without power. And we've seen that in Florida here just a few years back. Even my house, out of power for 10 days because of the hurricane. So, but yeah, their situation is a bit worse where they're saying in some places could be as long as 2 months. So if power is out, that also means eventually communications are out.
And, so that means cell phone towers are literally down. And now once the power's out, it affects cell phone towers. They don't have like backup generate. They do, but they don't last that long, right?
They got to be topped up a lot, so they got to run around. And that's the second thing is you can't find a lot of fuel. Our guys would go to 10, 13 different gas stations, wait in line 2 hours just to get to the front and not be able to even fill up, just get a little bit. Yeah, so rationing gas. Not all the stations even have gas. We had 2 vehicles in the area doing deliveries to people, regular people that need 1 satellite phone, companies that need 30 or a few. We were bringing them to everybody, right to their doors. And our vehicles are lifted and, off-road and capable. So they were able to get in there. But yeah, one of the vehicles, we had to leave it for a day and a half until we were able to locate more diesel. Couldn't even use the second vehicle for a couple of days to actually get around. We couldn't find diesel until we sent a 3rd vehicle in and told them to bring diesel to the man. So to answer your question, those cell towers down, the generators that run them, they're not lasting long. What they do is they bring in these big satellite trucks and try to get their network working. And what you find, and what our guys found, was that you'll see a little bit of signal and you can barely get a text message in and out. Definitely no phone calls. You get on a phone call, dead. You try to call any company in that area, busy line, dead phones. Most people have telephone service running over their internet connection these days. They call it VoIP, right? So
it's called voice over IP, right?
Exactly. That's anything like Skype or Telegram, anything that you don't pick up and hear a dial tone anymore, which isn't very often, that's running over the internet. So when the power's out, the internet's out, your phone's out. Your ability to call 911 is out. So
they even have these cell phones now that are voice over IP cell phones, right? And that's not going to work either when it goes down.
No. So definitely the guys weren't getting any data. The only way that I could run dispatch for them, and what we would be doing is all of our people were taking orders for customers in different areas. They'd all send that in to me through our application, our back-end office application, and then I'd route it as text messages to the guys or over to their satellite phones.
Now, your satellite phone worked, right?
Yeah. So we were basically, in some cases, we had to say, here's your next 3 locations for deliveries, and that was all over satellite. Yeah, it was all over satellite. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to coordinate with them.
Wow, that's amazing.
With nothing. So power, tons of power problems, gas problems, communication issues. In some areas, they'll get it back a little faster. In other areas, it's going to take a lot longer time. It all depends on where the hurricane hit worse. They're going to be out for a good 2 months, for sure. Yeah.
Now, what happens with earthquake scenarios? I don't know. Does it affect the power grid as bad? I guess maybe not, or because I know we just had a big 7.0 in Mexico, and I'm sure that the United States is not immune to big earthquakes like this, and that we're going to have our time. It seems like the United States has been more insulated from those really big ones, but I bet you here real soon, especially on the West Coast, we're going to be having some bigger ones. What happens when an earthquake happens? How does that affect the grid?
Oh, almost worse.
Worse.
Sometimes, yeah, it all depends. So in some areas, a lot of the services, water, sewage, power, and internet fiber could be run underground, and they consider that safer. But in areas where you got earthquakes, those plates slipping, all those lines buried there, no, it all depends on the area. But what we see pretty consistently, whether it's fires, rolling blackouts, hurricanes taking out large areas for long periods of time, is that satellite phones are a great way to communicate, stay safe, coordinate evacuations, or coordinate supplies, so you can live it out. But you need power. So we do a $150 special. It includes this power bank that'll recharge your satellite phones, mobile device, about 5-6 times. You plug this.
Now, for my listeners, we're really probing the lithium iron phosphate batteries, and this is what this is the ion batteries. These lithium batteries last forever. They're the best type of battery you can get, and that's really what you want to do, is conserve your power in a battery bank.
These satellite phones will plug in directly to a solar panel, but I never recommend plugging your electronics directly into a solar panel. You want something to buffer it, and that's what that battery bank does. So that's going to charge up and then you'll be able to charge your sat phone or your mobile phone off of the battery bank. That's the way some of our customers are able to communicate today at this very moment. So unless, we talk to some people, hey, I already got generators, I already got solar, I already got 5 of those little battery banks. Okay. But these are the ones that we found to work the best. And we've been doing it 15 plus years, and we've kind of hunted down the best solar battery power. So if you don't have power, we only got a few days of talk time on the sat phones, or standby time. You got on the sat phones, you're looking anywhere between 4 to 7 hours of talk time, depending on the phone. Standby anywhere between 24 to 48 hours. So you got a day or two on a sat phone, but as soon as you hook up a solar panel or a battery pack, you're kind of indefinite.
So I like that. I like that solar panel
for people, because some people call up and just buy a solar panel and a battery pack.
Yeah, that's good. I see the solar panels back there, and those are basically an array, a small little array, and it connects directly to your battery bank, fills up that battery bank, which the battery bank is probably a pure sine, where it's a clean power, right? You're talking about clean power that's not going to harm delicate electronics.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just directly connect it to a solar panel, it might not be. But that's a great way to be able to charge your batteries. I mean, literally, whatever battery it is, even a laptop. If you had a laptop, those solar panels and those battery banks would be able to charge your electronics, your small electronics.
We need a little bit larger version. That version is kicking out 5 volts. To be able to get up to a laptop, we need 15 volts or 12 volts or higher. So we do have those solutions. So anybody who's interested in that, we got about 6 or 7 versions of this solar panel battery system, all depending on what you need a plan for.
Yeah, I was looking at your store online, and you do have a lot of options in different levels of wattage, and that's kind of what you need to look at, is how much power you're actually needing for what type of equipment. If you have a laptop you want to charge, you're going to need a little bit bigger wattage, right? Is that what it is, wattage?
Yeah. To get up to a laptop, we need a battery pack that has a built-in inverter. So that allows us to plug in any AC device, and it has the highest amount of capacity you can put in a battery and fly with on a plane. Anything more than that, they won't let it fly. So we use bigger battery packs and bigger solar panels.
Okay.
For some larger devices. Our data hotspots, for example, are like a laptop. They need more power. So really, our people can help those who are looking to power certain devices, or just a sat phone. They can help you out. But the de facto package is the 20 watt solar, 20,000 milliamp battery, $149. It's a great deal. Another deal that we have today, we've always been promoting our MRSat satellite phones. There's 2 major satellite networks in the world. MRSat, by far our favorite. The phones are great. The prices are great. It's what we promote almost all the time. But there are some customers who want Iridium, which is the other major network. Iridium's got 66 low Earth orbiting satellites. They can really get you covered if you're in tight little spaces in between mountains. Some people like Iridium. And they can also be said they're maybe a little bit harder to track and chase down. So what we've done is we've taken the Iridium 9555 satellite phone model. There it is. Real tight, real small, compact. This phone is normally over $1,000. We have it now for $169. $169 a month for 12 months. You got to pay for 2 months up front. And what that gets you is 150 minutes a month. Whatever you don't use rolls over. You get a USA number. So when you make calls from this satellite phone, it shows up as a USA number. So the person can call you back, text you back, not have to worry about a big satellite number. So you get the USA number, you get the rollover, and 150 minutes for $100.
That's great. Now, the cost of the phone is included in the monthly charge, and at a certain point in your in your term, you get the phone basically for free.
After fulfilling 12 months of service, it's your phone. You can keep it on that same plan. It's a great plan, or change it up or down. There's a lot of different options, but it gets you an Iridium phone without having to shell out $1,000.
Right.
I think that's the awesome thing. So that's something new. We wanted to share with people.
And that's 150 minutes a
169,
month.
150 minutes, 169 a month.
And the rollover.
Rollovers included, and a USA number is included.
So, and I always tell people it's an insurance against disaster and tyranny, these phones. And if you don't use your minutes, you're accruing minutes. And those minutes can be used at any time when things happen. Now, another thing Tina told me, Eric, is that in case something does happen and you happen to go over your minutes in a disaster, they're not going to shut you off no matter what. You could talk and talk and talk, and you're going to be able to be secure with your communications with all of your loved ones and emergency people that you need to be in communication with. They're not going to shut you off.
No, we're not in the business of shutting people off. Unless we don't hear from you for at least 3 or 4 months. Then we might have to start looking into it. Another thing we have that's really new and really exciting, I've been using it and I like it a lot, is a product called the Vivi. That little guy right there has an Iridium satellite transceiver built into it. There it is. The antenna's right here. So there's the Iridium satellite phone. There's the Bivy. The antenna's like right there. And you can carabine this. It doesn't have any voice capabilities, all right? It's just two-way text message. You have to put an app on your phone, so you got to have an iPhone or an Android. You Bluetooth to it. You can send unlimited messages back and forth. Anywhere Iridium gets service, which is global. You also have an SOS button linked to Real SOS. And these devices are, if you want to buy it, it's like $370. They're not bad. But we have a plan for $69.99 a month. You can go to getbivy.com, GETBIVY.com. Takes you right to our site. And the plan is $69 and you get the device included. So,
wow, that's good.
Yeah,
and now,
the least expensive way. Yeah.
You don't even need to be having your cell phone connected to any provider. You can have just a blank cell phone. As long as it's got Bluetooth capability, you can connect and text anywhere in the whole world.
You got it. Yep. Unlimited texting two ways. So the app actually has a couple extra features too. So number one, you get unlimited texting to any mobile number or other bivvies or other sat phones, right? So now you got the unlimited messaging. You can also enable tracking. So that allows someone to like go to a portal and watch you. So if you were to take a hiking trip or a motorcycle trip or hunting or whatever you wanted to do and you wanted your significant other or somebody to be able to log in, just kind of follow along, there's a private secure login that can do that. You got the SOS button and you have a check-in button. You can make like 5 preset people, emails or phone numbers. And if you don't have your mobile phone, you can still click that button and it still sends an I'm okay message out to your people, which is really neat. So this device, I left it on my backyard overnight with rain hitting it and I was using it. It worked just fine. So I was impressed. It charges really quick up over the solar panel. There's also the ability to get offline maps. So if you do use a mobile device and you install the Bivy app, you register for an account, you can get offline topographical maps. So it's basically a GPS. It's a GPS for you to find out where you're at. And you can also communicate with people over two-way text messaging. So we made these available because we had a lot of people who said, well, I got 4 sat phones on the family plan for my family, but man, I also got 5 grandkids, Eric. I can't get them all sat phones. So this is a potential solution for a lot of people who want to cover some more people, but don't want to just go all the way up to a satellite phone. Want something a little bit.
Well, another great thing about this is that people like nowadays, especially the younger generation, loves to text. That's all they do. They don't even want to talk on the phone. I always wonder, why don't people want to talk on the phone anymore? Everybody wants to text now. So, but this is unlimited texting through satellite. and you don't even have to have a cell phone carrier. All you need is an empty cell phone. You go to Walmart and get a real cheap little Android,
Yep.
and as long as it's got Bluetooth capability, you can use that with the Bivy, and you can go anywhere in the whole world, and text people unlimited.
That's
There you
pretty
go, all you millennials out there. How do you like that? Then you don't have to, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's
and there's
awesome.
a lot of different ways like text to email. You can get weather through the application too, which is pretty cool. You can say request weather and it'll pull a 7-day forecast for you by the hour with rain, wind, everything. So still get some weather, get two-way text messaging, unlimited. So those are the cool things that we wanted to promote and let people know are available because it brings down the barrier to entry, which is expensive technology, and puts it in the hands of regular people like us.
Okay, now another thing, availability. Availability, I know, is limited, especially with the chip shortage and the disasters when they happen. People, flock to getting these devices. I've also heard through the grapevine that there's a lot of trouble in the world, and a lot of people, especially companies and CEOs and government agencies, are all now seeking satellite phones for security, especially like with things going on like in Afghanistan. I mean, so what do you suggest and what do you see in terms of supply chain disruptions? How is it going to affect satellite phone availability?
I wish I could say it wouldn't, but we have already kind of hit the limits on what is available for 2021. We're pushing them harder, trying to get more and more in, but it's. I'll tell you right now, this Iridium satellite phone right here that I just told you get for $169 a month. We
Yep.
only got 1,000 of those.
Wow.
We're usually 3,000-4,000. And so we don't have that many. No, and we don't know when we're going to get more, but we're not going to stop helping people get it in the most affordable way we can. The bivvies are brand new, and we're waiting on our first order of about 300. So the first people that put their orders in for those will be the first ones that ship. But we are telling people 10 days to 2-week lead time on the bivvies because their production is slower, and they're actually moving production to the United States. So if you want to get in line for a bivvy, we can help you. But we're the only
How
one.
about the MRSat phone? Are those out or what?
The MRSat phones, I think we're looking at just a little under 1,200 right now. And I can't tell you how many we ship a day, but that doesn't last long.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, I've seen you guys blow through 10,000 in just a month. So
We're doing everything we can to push the manufacturers because we're seeing so many problems with our grid. One hurricane or forest fires or whatever it may be, political problems. Next thing you know, the cellular connectivity, home internet, office internet is down.
Well, you got the whole thing now with ransomware and hacking, international hackers, and we're talking about governments that I think might be having nefarious plans for the U.S. and even our major government agencies. Not too long ago, the State Department was hacked. Did you see that? It's like everything's being hacked. Oil industry shutting off our oil, shutting down our ability to communicate. I mean, our communication is very, very, it's delicate. Our grid is very delicate. People don't realize how delicate it is. And it's like a domino effect when it does affect one part of it. It could actually affect a large part too. I don't know. I try to tell people because I look at a lot of news that's coming out, and I keep seeing these patterns, and it looks to me like they're planning and preparing. Oh, another interesting recent little thing that came out. I don't know if you saw this, Eric, but it's a bill that just was posted. It was HR 1523, something like this. I'd have to go get the actual bill, but Congress put this bill forward, and let me see if I can just read it here real quick. I talked about it on my program last week, and it has to do with the grid and how they're preparing. Let's see if I can find this. Let's see if I have this here. Basically what it was, and I don't know if I have it on my list here. They have, oh, here it is. Okay, so it's yeah, HR 5123, exactly what I said. It's called the American Freedom and Internet Access Act of 2021, and this was posted the 27th of August, which was only a week or so ago, a little over a week ago. And what they said was that they needed to get up and running a separate internet grid through balloon. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. My brother sent me this.
What do you think about that?
American Freedom and Internet Act. I think what they're doing is they want to actually have the American taxpayers commission the Air Force to develop and begin an implementation called Operation Starfall. All right. And this is where they want to take technologies like these big giant repeater balloons, like the ones with Loon, Google's company that tried to do it and didn't work. Loon, that's the big balloon company. Neat technology, not, saying nothing bad about it, but it has its applications, and what they're thinking about doing, it sounds like, is basically putting it on the Secretary of the Air Force and the Chief of Space Operations to deploy stratospheric balloons, aerostats, or satellite technology capable of delivering wireless internet anywhere on the planet. Very directional. It's not like cover the whole planet all the time. Cuba, people there, cell phones don't work, internet shut off. We can't see what's going on, and the world's curious. What's happening. So this act is basically saying from Miss Salazar to the Air Force, hey, build a balloon or satellite network to give internet to people in areas where it may be shut down by regimes.
And it wasn't just for other countries. They also, I think it has applications to the United States as well. But they talked about how that these, the censorship or the bad actors, that they were talking about bad actors in this act that they wanted to circumvent. Now, I kind of wonder if they're expecting more grid down possible scenarios, or if this would be their way of keeping some kind of internet still going if something did go down. I don't know. Kind of wonder. And they said they had to have it ready within 45 days of the actual bill. So that's only, a month and a half? They have to have this up and running.
To begin the implementation of Operation Starfall. And, I think I'd love to know how much money got allocated to this. It's going to be a lot of money. And the U.S. taxpayers are going to pay for it. And most likely it won't work. And we're going to be putting it over countries, communistic countries, let's say for Cuba, for example. We'd be paying to go launch balloons or whatever over these people so they can communicate and they can get on, I guess, a hybrid satellite network. Look, the people there, the country there, if they're shutting down the internet, they can also jam the airwaves.
Yeah. I personally think, and I don't know, maybe I'm just a conspiracy theorist, but I think they're preparing for our grid to go down, and that they're going to have something still working for them. I don't know if it's just necessarily for other countries, but it sounded like it had domestic applications. I don't know. But, you think about this whole thing with Elon Musk's Starlink. I mean, why can't they wait? That hasn't really fully been launched completely, has it?
No. And, I had an order in for it for my house, and I just couldn't get any customer service. I sold that house, moving, so I had to cancel my order. And a lot of reports are from people saying, there's inconsistency in the connection. And, I think what we have today works for a lot of our customers. We're able to bring their data online wherever they need it. And we use dishes pointed at geostationary orbits. We're going to get a lot of new low Earth orbiting constellations. Another one to get, I think, a little bit more excited about than Starlink is one called OneWeb. They have 650 plus satellites that will be in orbit probably by mid next year. And those are providing 200 megabits down, 40 megabits up on some of our flat panel Chimeta antennas. So that's just in development right now, but they'll be out soon. And that's really designed for the type of business, type of people we help. Starlink is going to be competing with Viasat and Hughes to put dishes in people's backyards.
Mm-hmm.
And the level of service is going to be, I think, kind of on par with those guys.
Oh, geez. I tried to have Hughes, and it was the worst nightmare. I mean, it was like it didn't even work. But I think that the Starlink is a little better in terms of its speed, but I don't know about customer service. But you're right. I tried. We tried to get it to see if we could get it for if we happen to have an off-grid property, and it's like a 6-8 month. They said almost a year wait.
Yeah. So we're putting networks in now if people need them. You know, if it comes along, it can help people. Great. I think Starlink with all the moving satellites, the internet connection will be fast 1 minute and slow the next, and some people might be okay with that. Others might not. But the satellite phone, I don't think loses its place in the communications toolbox. You know, not gonna abandon my little sat phone that I can throw in my pack to walk around with a dish over my head to make the phone.
No, I
So
keep telling people because I've heard people say, well,
I would get both. If I can afford it, I'd get both. I'd take
that's
the phone,
right.
throw it on the side of the house, put it up there. But I'm still keeping my sat phone.
That's right.
You know, it doesn't change things. Um, no, and that's how I think a lot of our customers have told us too. We've seen huge demand increase, so
Yeah.
obviously they feel the same.
I think that if people understood more about how the technology works, and a lot of people will tell you, well, they know about shortwave radio, or they know about ham radio, or they know about two sideband or whatever, or CBs. Well, that's good for local, and if you're technically aware. But a satellite phone, all you need to do is use it like a cell phone. If as long as you have people that you can contact, and you've prepared for anything, it's just like having a plan. When you have a plan for a disaster, well, satellite phone is a part of that plan. And if you allocate a little bit extra money, it's like insurance to me, and I think it's great to have insurance, but it's always a backup plan, and it's always the go-to plan if things really do go out. I'm not going to sit there and try to figure out how to get on the right wavelength to be able to find out if anybody else is on their ham radio to try. I mean, I'm going to call directly who I need to talk to right now. You know what I mean? And it's going to go right directly to them.
I got them all: sat phone, radio, cell phone, different type of radio. So
Yep.
I'm an advocate of having as many options as I can of redundancy as that you can afford. And from what we've seen, that man, uh, cell phones, yes; sat phones, yes; radios, yes; all of the above, if you can. But the sat phone's going to give you the capability at a price that's incomparable to be able to call anybody else out there. Um, and I have to
Well,
worry
I'm
about
I'm
the
really
radio
I'm
propagation.
really excited about what you guys are doing, and I know that it used to be really expensive. So when I saw that they were so, inexpensive, I was like very excited to be able to get one, and I'm so glad that I worked with you guys to be able to get others in my audience to be able to see that they can afford one too. It's just like almost like a cell phone bill now. I mean, I literally had a cell phone bill that was $130 a month a while back, and I was like, "What am I doing? I'm just using it as a phone and a text." So I ended up cutting that off, and I went and got a cheap Walmart phone, and this is even cheaper than that. So I mean, but anyway, Eric, I do appreciate what you guys are doing for us out here, and I hope that we can, continue to work with you guys and getting people connected. And I think it's a part of, like you said, making sure that we're all keeping connected and staying aware of what's happening in our world if things do go astray. And I just pray that there is no disasters. I pray that there is no unrest. But the way things look, it's just the reality of the world in which we live, and by the way, one other thing, you said a lot of people that are high level, military, corporations, there just seems to be a real big move to going to get satellite phones now. Do you think it has something to do with our political climate right now, or what?
Hard to say. It's not hard to make that link, I guess.
Or is it just because you guys are great marketers? Is it just because you got a great company? What is it? What's the deal?
Maybe God's blessed us with all the above.
Yes.
But ultimately, I think what you're referring to is that, yes, over the past, actually it started last year with all those riots that were happening all across the U.S. and banks being burned and, um, large organizations and enterprises that we've all heard of, gotten satellite phones from us because, their concern started even back then.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only grown, people that are responsible for risk management and disaster planning, redundancy for their business, their operations, have been rushing to get satellite phones and also data systems because phones are great. They need to bring people back up online though. So enterprise business, the enterprises of the world have been devouring satellite communications a lot over the past 12 months from what I can see. And it's not stopping. So do they know something we don't? Are they connected to the global elitist and they know the plans of what's happening?
Right.
Depopulating the world and spreading fear and controlling economies. Maybe they do know. Maybe. And they don't want to be disconnected because if you lose communications, if I lost communications with our team in New Orleans and in that area, we wouldn't have been able to do anything after that.
Yep.
Would have been a good idea for them to go home. It wouldn't have been safe. So, so it's a blessing to be able to keep people safe, connected, and to offer this. So we love just being able to bring down the price and make it accessible to more people. So thanks again for having me.
It was really a pleasure to have you, and thank God that we have the ability to communicate, that we have still time to look ahead and prepare. And that's what we want to make sure everybody's alerted to, because we don't want you to think after the fact, like after a disaster, wow, I wish I would have bought a cell phone or a sat phone. I wish I would have gotten food prepared. I wish I would have had a lot more water and a plan. So make sure that you have all that in place. And this is what we do, why we're doing this. We want you to be prepared at the same time. We definitely look at this as a necessity for me. So I just pray for that for you guys as well. And Eric and Tina over there at satellite phone or sat123.com. I just want to thank you guys for being a sponsor of our program. Thank you so much for what you guys have done for us.
Thanks again, man. God bless you.
All right. God bless you. And we'll be talking to you real soon. All right, Eric?
Take care. Bye.
All right. Have a great night, brother.